Do not have it as your plan that you're going to swap out the photographer for crowd photography. Crowd photography is going to give you crowd output, and that is not necessarily the experience that you want to have. As I view, do not employ guests to take pictures for you, because you'll be getting all sorts of pictures, and it might be looking for a needle in a haystack, looking for that one picture that is good. You will get some good pictures, yes, but no, that should not be your main plan for capturing the moments of your wedding day.
Hey there, I'm Kemi, an on-demand wedding planner, and I help engage couples with the guidance and coaching needed to navigate the wedding planning journey. Need help with brainstorming, tips and tricks, or just a listening ear? I'm the girl to call. So, let's connect.
Now, this next advice is pretty entertaining. It's stuff that assumes that everybody's a professional just because they have a certain device. It's the advice that says do not get a photographer because everybody's got a camera phone, or everybody got cameras on their phone. It's just like saying do not go to a doctor because everybody has Google, or everybody has access to Google. I don't know. Even though we call him Professor Google has interns who make mistakes, and sometimes they post wrong things. So Professor Google will give you good answer and bad answer depending on the interns on the sheets that day. So that's my 2 cents about Google. The same thing applies here. With saying everybody has cameras on their phones, that's just wrong, because not everybody can shoot like a photographer. Not everybody can capture properly. Not all phones are iPhones or Samsung phones or phones that are, or OnePluses, phones that are made with superior lens capacity and all that. And even if they were, not everybody knows how to capture. Not everybody knows what moments to capture. There are just a lot of things that go into photography. It's not just aim and shoot. There's a lot. And hey, my photographer friends, please back me up on this. I believe I'm speaking truth here, because I'm trying to have your backs here. But honestly, that's just wrong advice to go with. If you're having a very small event and you don't really care for the photos and you just want the experience with your family members, and you don't, like I said, you don't care for photos, that's a different thing. You're a really small crowd anyway, so maybe you don't mind it. But if you're having an elaborate celebration, please get your photographer. You can always work with a photographer. You can find a photographer that fits your budget. If you need to find low-cost photographers, you can go to art schools where they have they're training artists in various disciplines, and you have photographers there, and you can actually work with student photographers. They will still be better and cheaper than having you rally around all your guests to bring out their phones. And just imagine, in people's shots, you will be seeing pictures of other people with their phones also trying to take pictures of you. So imagine looking at a picture of someone else with a phone trying to take a picture, and then there's someone else in that picture you understand, it's just because they are not professional shots. Your wedding lives on in pictures and in videos too. So when I say photographer, I actually mean photographer and the videographer, because you're all capturing moments. These are the ways you'll be able to remember your events later. Your food on the day can be as fantastic as whatever it is, but no food stays in the system for a week. It goes out. And think about 20 years, you would forget what the menu was. The only ways you remember your wedding 1 year after, 2 years after, 50 years after, whatever number of years after, is by the moments you've captured either in video or in photography. So I believe that those are some vendors that should rank top of your priority list when you are thinking of vendors to get. Now, this is an interesting one. This next advice is interesting because I am a DIY person. Like, I do it myself a lot. Sometimes I do it myself, not because I need to, but just because I like that challenge. So I can understand this, that there are a lot of DIY couples out there. Sometimes we do things because we love them. Sometimes we do things ourselves because we probably do not have any other choice than to just do it because we think it's the cheaper option. Sometimes it's not always right. And this is one advice that might not be always right. Given the advice that you should do your decor yourself. Now, this is a situation where it might be, not necessarily all the way bad. It's good to some extent. And I say good to some extent to mean that depending on the size of your wedding, number one, you might be able to do the decor. Depending on the preferences that you have, you might be able to do the decor. If you're working with full flowers as against fresh flowers, yeah, you might be able to do the decor yourself. In fact, many people have done the decor themselves. But now, let me tell you something a little interesting about me. My very first degree, 3 degrees. My very first degree is in economics, so I like to think of, opportunity cost. An opportunity cost is basically what are you giving up for what you want. So think of it this way. You are going to be doing your decor yourself, but what are you giving up for the decorations that you're doing yourself. While they might appear cheaper in that, while the cost of the decor might appear cheaper because you're buying the things yourself or you're not paying for that extra service and all that, but is it really worth it for you to give up your time, for you to stress over it, for you to do all that work? And that work, that the time you're spending on doing that work, could it have been applied towards something else? Even if you were sleeping, at least you'd be getting your beauty rest and you wouldn't wake up on your wedding day with puppy eyes. I am not coming against anybody here, because you probably check my page, I am pro do it yourself, but I also think you should be very smart and very calculated in deciding to do it yourself, especially if you're going to be doing your wedding decor. Write it out, get a quote from another vendor, from a decorator, and then also write out the cost of everything you'll be doing and then compare. That's only how you know if you are truly getting a deal, if you are doing yourself a favor here. And it's important to also consider the things that you'll be using for the decor. For a decorator, we would, I say we because I do decoration services sometimes, depending on the size of the event. I don't do too large events. But I also have supplies. I have table covers, I have vases, I have different things. And because I can afford to have those things in the storage, because I know I would use them over and over. So the cost of having those things is not such an inconvenience, because I'm going to use them over and over. But if you're planning your wedding and you're just going to be hosting that wedding, as you get further into your marriage, you would have other events, but you don't have any other events in the immediate. If you're deciding to buy your table covers, deciding to buy your charger plates, deciding to buy your vases, deciding to buy things, they might be cheaper for you to buy, yes. But what are you going to do with them after the event? You're going to store them. You're going to keep them. So that's just money you've locked down. Yes, it helped you on your wedding day, but now you have to deal with it afterwards. I have met couples who have said, we're going to sell it, and they didn't sell it. You see how, while it might be cheaper upfront for you to do these things yourself, but after the event, what are you going to do with those things? Is it truly cheap as you're thinking? So, like I said, this is a gray area where you're thinking, should I do it myself, or should I not? If I do it myself, how much is it going to cost me? If it's costing me cheaper upfront, how about after the event? What am I going to do with these supplies when the event is over? I am an on-demand wedding planner, meaning I work with couples and I give the guidance and the coaching that they need as they plan the wedding, especially if they are deciding to plan the wedding themselves. So if this is you, I invite you to leave me a message and let's talk about how I can help you navigate wedding planning, because it should be a wonderful journey and I'm hoping that you are enjoying your wedding planning. And subscribe to my channel. If you've not subscribed yet, it would be good to have you subscribe to my channel, because that way I can grow a community and I can get feedback from you more and just continue to share this wonderful information as they keep coming to me. And then lastly, please click the notification bell so you get notified whenever I push out a new video, so you don't miss out and you're not just stumbling on my channel whenever you get to. It would be really lovely to have you help me with growing this channel. But till we meet again, I am Kemi, and it's been lovely sharing this platform with you. Be blessed and be merry.